Beloved friends, today I want to share a principle so simple, yet so profoundly transformative. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you. The world is filled with situations, people, and circumstances that try to rattle our peace, yet the power to remain serene lies within each of us. Understand this: every outward disturbance loses its power the moment you refuse to give it your attention. When you walk through life appearing unshaken, when you smile through opposition, when you radiate calm in the face of chaos, you are sending a silent signal to the universe that you are not controlled by fear, anger, or worry. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not pretending. It is a declaration of your inner authority. Imagine yourself as a mighty river. No matter what obstacles appear in its path, the river continues flowing, gracefully, powerfully, without resistance. So too should you flow through life. Do not allow the petty irritations, the unexpected setbacks, or the criticisms of others to disturb your divine composure. Every thought of annoyance or resentment is a seed. If you water it, it grows into circumstances that mirror that inner agitation. But if you act as if nothing bothers you, you are sending a powerful vibration of peace, order, and confidence. Life responds to the energy you project. Calmness attracts calmness. Joy attracts joy. Unshakable confidence draws opportunities and blessings. Begin now. In every interaction, in every challenge, choose to remain composed. Smile when provoked. Speak gently when criticized. Move with grace when hurried. The world may attempt to disturb you, but it is powerless against a soul that moves in tranquility. Remember, your life is a reflection of your inner state. Act as if nothing bothers you, and the world will mirror that serenity. You are at the mercy of circumstances. Circumstances are at the mercy of your inner poise. Make this your practice, and you will find that peace, favor, and success follow you effortlessly, like a shadow that never leaves. Stand in the light of your own unshakable calm, dear friends, and the universe will bow to your composure. You are the master of your moods, the ruler of your reactions, and the creator of your experiences. Act as if nothing bothers you, and watch life transform before your eyes. Inner peace is not merely the absence of disturbance, it is a power, a force that shapes your life in ways that nothing else can. When a person cultivates true serenity within, it becomes a magnetic field, attracting circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with that tranquility. Consider the nature of water. When still, it reflects the heavens above perfectly, showing clarity and harmony. When agitated, it becomes turbulent and clouded, hiding the beauty that lies beneath. So too is the human spirit, the one who is still inside, who holds composure in the face of opposition, reflects the divine order around them, while the one who is easily shaken mirrors only confusion and discord. Many people mistake action or busyness for progress, but it is the inner calm that produces real power. Every decision made in a state of agitation or anxiety carries the weight of resistance, and often leads to more complications, more obstacles, more friction. Yet every action taken from a place of serenity moves like a current flowing effortlessly, finding its way around obstacles, embracing opportunities, and drawing success as naturally as a tree draws sunlight. True power does not shout, it does not panic, it does not force or demand. It moves quietly but irresistibly. It is the calm eye of the storm, the unmovable center around which all else revolves. When you cultivate inner peace, you are sending an invisible signal to the world that you are anchored, that you are not a pawn of circumstances, and that you possess the authority to navigate life without being tossed by winds of worry or fear. The universe responds to this presence because all energy is attracted to its likeness. A person who is constantly disturbed may appear busy and involved, yet they are often moving in circles, reacting to the world, allowing the events around them to dictate their emotions and choices. Meanwhile, the one who is calm, who carries an aura of unshakable composure, moves through life with clarity, making decisions that are aligned with purpose rather than reaction. There is a strength in composure that cannot be measured by any worldly standard. It is felt rather than seen, sensed rather than heard. People are drawn to it, opportunities are aligned with it, and obstacles diminish in its presence. It is as if the world itself recognizes the sovereignty of the mind and heart that remain undisturbed, and life adjusts accordingly. To cultivate this inner power, one must practice the art of non-react. Ivety, which is different from indifference. Indifference is cold and detached, often creating distance or stagnation, while non-reactivity is the conscious choice to remain centered and calm without suppressing or denying life. It is the ability to witness events, to acknowledge them, and yet not allow them to invade your inner sanctuary. Every time you choose calm over agitation, every time you choose patience over irritation, every time you choose faith over doubt, you are strengthening the invisible muscle of serenity. Like any muscle, it must be exercised consistently to become strong and reliable. When people encounter someone who carries this inner peace, they often mistake it for confidence, authority, or even charisma, yet it is much deeper than any external trait. It is the manif, a station of alignment with a higher principle, the recognition that life itself is orderly, and that a calm mind can access the wisdom needed to navigate any situation. A calm person is rarely caught off guard because they are not dependent on external circumstances for their sense of security or clarity. Their thoughts are not scattered by anger, fear, or disappointment. Their decisions are guided by reason, insight, and intuition that flows from their inner stillness. The world will always present challenges, for that is the nature of life, but a person anchored in peace meets these challenges not as a victim, but as a master. A storm may rage around them, but within, they remain untouched. This does not mean that they ignore problems or avoid action. On the contrary, their actions are effective precisely because they are born from clarity rather than agitation. They are like an archer whose aim is steady because the bow is held without trembling. Inner peace transforms ordinary decisions into acts of divine precision. It allows a person to see the threads of opportunity woven through the chaos, to discern the right course of action, to move in alignment with life rather than against it. Every thought, word, and action that comes from a place of serenity carries a power that multiplies itself in the world. Consider how often small disturbances grow into overwhelming difficulties because they are met with agitation or resistance. When someone remains calm, what might have escalated into conflict often dissolves effortlessly. The mind and heart of the unshaken person rate on a higher frequency, one that attracts harmony and repels discord. This is why great leaders, innovators, and visionaries often display an unusual calm in the midst of turmoil. They are not untouched by circumstance. They simply refuse to surrender their inner domain to it. They understand that the real battlefield is not outside but within. Mastery of self, mastery of thought, mastery of motion. This is where true power resides. It is also contagious. The serenity of one person can influence a whole room, a whole team, a whole community. Just as tension spreads rapidly, so does calm. When a person embodies peace, they radiate it, and others unconsciously adjust to that vibration. This is why cultivating inner peace is not selfish. It is the highest form of service, for it elevates not only the individual but everyone they touch. Life will always test patience, provoke anger, and tempt fear, yet every time a person chooses calm over reaction, they are reinforcing the invisible law that governs all success and happiness. It is the quiet but relentless power of composure that shapes destinies, molds character, and attracts abundance. Inner peace is not something to be found outside. It is discovered, nurtured, and maintained within. It is the fruit of disciplined thought, of unwavering faith, of conscious choice, and of a heart aligned with love and understanding. The person who knows this power knows that outer events have no ultimate authority over their state of being. They move through life with the certainty that the universe supports their calm, that every challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate mastery, and that the tranquility of their inner world is a force more potent than any external circumstance. Every day presents countless chances to practice this art. The irritations, the delays, the misunderstandings, the disappointments, the unexpected news, the harsh words, the sudden setbacks, all are opportunities to strengthen the fortress of serenity. He one who seizes these moments transforms them into affirmations of power, confidence, and divine alignment. Over time, the ability to remain unshaken becomes second nature. It is no longer an effort, it is a state of being. The calm mind, the peaceful heart, the composed spirit, these become the instruments through which life flows effortlessly. Such a person no longer fears loss, disappointment, or criticism, for they know that the essence of power lies not in controlling the outside world, but in mastering the world within. And as they cultivate this inner peace, as they walk through life as a beacon of composure, they find that doors open, opportunities align, relationships deepen, and challenges diminish in intensity, all because the power of serenity resonates with the harmonious LA.WS of the universe. Every thought that passes through the mind carries with it a creative force, a vibration that shapes the very circumstances of life. Life itself is a mirror, reflecting back to us the dominant ideas and images we hold in our consciousness. If a person nurtures thoughts of fear, lack, or limitation, those thoughts will inevitably manifest as challenges, obstacles, and unwanted experiences. Conversely, when one holds thoughts of abundance, health, success, and joy, life responds in kind, arranging circumstances that align with those positive images. This is the law of mental creation, the invisible yet absolute principle that governs every human experience. Many people live their lives unaware of this great truth. They allow fleeting worries, passing doubts, or the opinions of others to take root in their minds, not realizing that each idea they entertain is a seed sown in the fertile soil of their subconscious. The seeds that are nurtured will grow, and the harvest they yield will be in exact proportion to the energy invested in them. It is therefore of the utmost importance to guard the thoughts carefully, to select them with discernment, and to feed only those that serve the higher good. When we act with awareness, we recognize that the mind is the workshop in which the conditions of our lives are fashioned. Just as an architect draws plans before building a house, so too does the mind draw the blueprint of life through its dominant thoughts. The images we hold, the stories we tell ourselves, the words we speak quietly within our hearts, all become the four Cs that shape experience. A thought, once entertained, begins to attract circumstances of a like nature. If one dwells on fear, worry, or resentment, the universe responds by presenting situations that require the mastery of those very emotions. If one dwells on confidence, courage, and possibility, opportunities will appear that align with these qualities. This is not mere coincidence, but a law, as certain as gravity, unyielding and impartial. Every thought is a creative impulse. Every word spoken is a directive to life. When we complain, criticize, or dwell on what we do not have, we give form and power to lack. When we praise, affirm, and envision what we desire, we breathe life into abundance. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined, it receives. Every picture, every image, every word is a command, and it moves to bring it into tangible expression. It is therefore essential to guard the mind, to practice selective thinking, and to cultivate an inner life rich with faith, vision, and expectation. One cannot afford to be careless with thoughts, for they are the architects of destiny. The person who understands this law knows that every disappointment, every delay, every challenge can be traced to thoughts that were accepted and entertained, often unconsciously, over time. Yet the same person also recognizes that by changing their thought patterns, by consciously choosing images and ideas of victory, harmony, and prosperity, they can change the very texture of their life. Thoughts are like magnets, attracting circumstances that correspond to their nature. Positive, harmonious thoughts draw favorable experiences. Negative, discordant thoughts draw difficulty and frustration. The power lies not in the external event, but in the mind that attracts or repels it. Many individuals blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their condition, not realizing that the outer world is merely a reflection of the inner world. When one changes the inner world, the outer world inevitably shifts to mirror the new state. This is the foundation of all self-mastery and the secret of every great life. A person who holds clear, constructive thoughts will find their path opened in ways that seem miraculous to the untrained eye. Doors that once appeared closed swing wide, obstacles dissolve, and opportunities appear with ease because the thought forms within have created an energy that moves the unseen forces of the universe in alignment with the vision held. It is therefore vital to cultivate the habit of mental discipline, to notice the quality of one's thoughts, and to consciously replace fear with faith, doubt with confidence, and limitation with possibility. Every day presents countless chances to practice this. When irritation arises, when anxiety threatens, when worry calls, one can consciously refuse to entertain these energies. Instead, one can choose to focus on constructive, positive, and inspiring thoughts that feed the soul and direct life toward desired outcomes. By doing so, a person not only prevents the manifestation of unwanted circumstances, but actively creates a life of harmony, success, and fulfillment. The law of thought is impartial. It does not favor one person over another, nor does it discriminate. Whatever thought is held with conviction, repeated, and believed, will inevitably find expression in the physical world. This is why it is said that the mind is the master of life and the ruler of circumstances. It is also why affirmations, visualization, and conscious focus are powerful tools for transforming life. They are not magic but the natural application of a universal law. One who masters the mind can master life, for every circumstance responds to the dominant thought pattern it perceives. This understanding brings great responsibility, for it reveals that we are not helpless victims of circumstance but active creators of the life we live. Every setback can be traced to a mental eye. Mage entertained, every success to a thought held and nurtured. Yet this knowledge is empowering, for it means that by changing thought, one can change life. The mind can be trained like a muscle, strengthened through deliberate practice. Just as one strengthens the body through exercise, one strengthens the creative power of thought through focused attention, constructive imagining, and discipline. Repetition. When a person begins to take control of their thinking, to choose and cultivate ideas of abundance, health, love, and joy, life begins to reflect this transformation with remarkable precision. Challenges no longer appear as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities to demonstrate mastery and alignment with higher laws. The thought forms the foundation. Action builds upon it. When the foundation is strong, when the mental image is clear, harmonious, and confident, the structure of life rises with ease and grace. Every word spoken is another reinforcement of the thought. Every action aligned with vision adds energy to the form, and circumstances follow as a natural outcome. Thoughts are therefore not idle musings but potent creative forces. They must be chosen wisely, consciously, and maintained with faith. When doubt arises, when fear whispers, the wise person turns to affirmations, to visualization, to the practice of acting as if the desired outcome is already reality. By doing this, they create a momentum that carries the vision into tangible experience. The universe responds to certainty and clarity. A confused, doubtful mind attracts confusion and dela. A clear, decisive, and positive mind attracts harmony, opportunity, and success. The person who recognizes this truth understands that it is not events that shape them, but the way they think about events. Every situation, no matter how difficult, can be reframed by the mind, and in doing so, the external circumstances begin to shift in accordance with the new inner picture. This is the principle that separates those who live in frustration, limitation, and struggle from those who live in ease, abundance, and fulfillment. The law is impartial, unerring, and always active. It does not require belief, approval, or understanding. It operates whether we are conscious of it or not. Therefore, the wise person makes it their practice to control their thinking, to direct their imagination toward deconstructive ends, and to maintain the mental picture of the life they wish to live. By doing so, they harness the invisible creative power that governs all existence and use it to bring about the circumstances, opportunities, and conditions that reflect their highest. Vision. Mastering your reactions is one of the greatest powers a human being can possess. For it is not the events of life that shape us, but the way we respond to them. Every circumstance, every encounter, every challenge offers an opportunity to exercise this mastery. The person who has learned to govern their reactions does not surrender their authority to outside events but maintains the throne of their own mind, heart, and spirit. The world is filled with stimuli designed to provoke fear, anger, impatience, and frustration. Yet those who rise above automatic responses find that life itself bends to their composure. Consider that the same event can provoke vastly different outcomes depending on the reaction of the individual involved. A sharp word, a criticism, or an unexpected setback may shatter one person, creating confusion, resentment, or discouragement, while the same event may strengthen another, inspire creative solutions, or deepen inner resolve. This is the evidence of the invisible law that governs reactions. It is not the event that determines the outcome but the inner response. To master reactions is to seize the reins of life, to refuse to be pulled into the whirlwinds of emotion and circumstance. It is a conscious act, a deliberate practice, and a daily exercise of awareness. One cannot aim mastery without observing oneself, for much of human reaction is unconscious, habitual, and automatic. People react according to patterns formed long ago, responding to triggers before thought or reflection has a chance to intervene. Breaking these patterns requires vigilance, self-observation, and the willingness to choose a different path in the moment. Every time a person pauses, breathes, and consciously selects a calm, constructive, and positive response, they are strengthening the power to govern themselves. Each controlled reaction becomes a brick in the foundation of unshakable inner authority. Mastery of reaction does not mean suppression of feeling or avoidance of reality. Rather, it is the conscious direction of energy toward what serves life, growth, and harmony. Emotions powerful forces, but when left unchecked, they become tyrants that rule the mind and distort reality. By mastering reactions, a person channels emotion as an ally rather than allowing it to become an enemy. The wise recognize that impatience, irritation, fear, or anger do not serve them. They are wasted energy that produces outcomes contrary to desire. By choosing calm, patience, and understand, one converts this energy into a constructive force that draws blessings, solutions, and opportunities. One of the greatest teachers of reaction mastery is the understanding that life is always unfolding perfectly, even when it seems chaotic or unfair. Every setback carries a lesson, every conflict an opportunity, every challenge a hidden doorway to growth and insight. When a person reacts in panic, blame, or resentment, they obscure the lesson and compound the difficulty. When they react with composure, discernment, and faith, they unlock the door to wisdom and guidance. Mastery of reactions is also the foundation of personal magnetism and influence. A calm person attracts trust, respect, and cooperation, while one ruled by impulsive emotion often repels support and harmony. This principle applies in every sphere of life: relationships, work, leadership, and creativity. The inner authority that governs reactions radiates outward, shaping the environment and drawing circumstances in alignment with the composed energy projected. To develop this mastery, one must practice the art of conscious choice in every moment. When provoked, pause before responding. When challenged, concede. The highest course of action. When insulted, remember that the insult has power only if given life by the reaction it provokes. By consistently choosing responses that reflect poise, patience, and wisdom, a person rewires habitual patterns and establishes a new default calm authority. Life itself will test this mastery repeatedly. There will be moments when provocation is sudden, circumstances are unexpected, and emotions rise with intensity. These moments are not failures but opportunities to strengthen the ability to respond rather than react. Each successful practice, each moment of deliberate control, builds confidence, and reinforces the inner law that one is sovereign over one's own mind and heart. Reaction mastery is closely tied to the understanding of cause and effect. Every carries consequences, both visible and unseen. A careless, reactive response often initiates a chain of events that produces difficulty and conflict. A considered, constructive response initiates a chain of outcomes that produce harmony, resolution, and progress. Those who grasp this principle understand that power lies not in resisting circumstances, but in responding in alignment with higher law. This mastery also fosters peace, joy, and freedom. The person who is ruled by reaction lives in a state of constant tension, uncertainty, and vulnerability, at the mercy of outside forces. The person who governs their reactions enjoys serenity, clarity, and independence, for their state of being is not dependent on circumstances but anchored in inner law and conscious choice. Mastery of reactions is an ongoing practice. It requires vigilance, reflection, and continual adjustment. No one is perfectly unshakable at all times, but each conscious effort reinforces the habit and strengthens the inner power that guides life. Over time, the practice becomes effortless, a natural expression of the individual's character and alignment with universal law. The world itself recognizes this authority and responds accordingly. Obstacles diminish, conflicts resolve with ease, and opportunities present themselves in alignment with the calm, centered energy projected. In practical terms, mastering reactions means observing oneself in every situation, asking, what is the most constructive, beneficial, and harmonious response I can give? It means choosing silence over anger, patience over frustration, understanding over judgment, and faith over fear. It is a discipline that cultivates emotional intelligence, spiritual insight, and personal effectiveness. Every circumstance becomes a classroom in which the lessons of composure, discernment, and self-control are offered. Those who seize these lessons accumulate wisdom, authority, and influence far beyond what any external effort alone could achieve. Mastery of reaction is also a shield against negativity. Harsh words, unfair criticism, or hostile actions cannot penetrate the calm mind that governs itself. The one who is unshaken does not absorb the chaos around them, but allows it to pass without disturbance. This is a power few recognize, yet it is the most potent form of personal sovereignty. The individual who masters reactions becomes a co-creator with the laws of life. By choosing responses in alignment with truth, harmony, and constructive purpose, they shape not only their own destiny, but also influence the world around them in positive ways. Their life becomes a living example of the principle that inner authority governs outer circumstances. Every thought, very word, every action directed from this place of mastery is like a seed planted in fertile soil. It grows, unfolds, and produces a harvest in exact proportion to the power of the conscious choice made in that moment. This is why true leaders, visionaries, and spiritually empowered individuals are known for their calm presence, their unshakable poise, and their ability to respond rather than react. It is not circumstance that creates greatness, but the mastery of the responses that life calls for. By continually practicing this art, by choosing awareness over automatic reaction, by directing energy into constructive channels, the person transforms their life from chaos into harmony, from reactivity into authority, from ordinary experience into the unfolding of divine possibility.